but he still go off and choose another woman.
That's a tactic. I want a traditional one. You ain't no traditional one.
I was prepared to go Dutch, but in the back of my head, I'm like,
I just want to surprise. It would be a surprise because
I think it's that whole interview, the official side of them. Okay.
so you're okay with initiating, but you don't have to follow through. You're just looking for that like.
Would you override your compatibility with your personal preference?
Ooh. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead, because that was coming clear now.
You feel that in his spirit, okay?
Yeah, say it to the camera. Say it to the camera.
Yeah, that's I don't know for a woman.
That's a good question.
But for a man, if we do that, it can have other ramifications that are, other things that are impacted with us. Like.
So compatibility is gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna beat that. What was the
like
personal
preference?
Like, yeah.
So one little preference you ain't got to have, but
It gotta be looks though.
that's a
You
preference.
yeah.
It's a preference.
Got to be pretty.
So she could be
Gotta be
a nerd, but y'all compatible, but you prefer not to be with her because she had the look.
Yeah.
Ain't that been shallow?
That's it.
No, that's not shallow. No, it's not. Look, because it's all a man has to have some
A
type
visual.
of. He has to have some type of lust for his woman.
I agree.
Where
Okay.
he wants to.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I have a question because in this, I'm a hairstylist, and a lot of the times, a lot of women just don't know their own inner beauty, the sensual side of them. So, is it something that can be adjusted? Because some women just don't know how pretty they are until they've gotten certain clothes on, certain hairstyles, certain colors. Because you could meet somebody who looks nerdish or she don't really have it, a sexual appeal, but
Yeah, a lot of girls don't have a sex appeal.
And it's a completely different version of that woman.
Yeah, they don't have a sex. They gotta develop.
So
that
can
sex
you take
appeal.
that statement back, like at all, or is this you ain't sending her you're not sending her nowhere? This is a no.
I mean, it's a difference with clothes on and clothes off too. That's why I say with guys. I don't know about y'all. It's just it's a difference. Like it's you. No.
So let me ask this: Do she have to be over the top pretty, or can she just be average?
No, like you can be average, but you gotta have some type of sex appeal. Like so, yeah.
You just gotta be attracted to her some type of way.
Yeah, and she gotta be confident in the areas that I'm attracted to her in.
Okay.
And them the areas I'm gonna try to accentuate.
Okay, what about y'all down here?
When we had this conversation, and I was telling Keisha that when I was dating, I realized that I was dating for someone with 100% of my preferences and half of my requirements or half of what made us compatible, and it didn't work. So I led with my requirements first, and then my preferences, because if you don't have all my requirements, it's not gonna work anyway.
Right.
You can be cute, but like if we're not compatible, you're not gonna be that cute no more. Like you
One
know
card
So I definitely feel like compatibility and what you require from a partner before dating is important. Leading with that is important than leading with, he this tall, he like do X, Y, and Z for his whatever. Like I think that's more important, leading with your requirements and stuff.
So can I
Go ahead, chime in.
So I remember before I got married, I used to be in a lot of deep thought while I work out and while I'm sitting in the room. And I remember I wrote this down because I just got in deep thought and it just popped in my head. It said going off your compatibility or your preference just by itself can be a trap. The enemy can send you pain gift wrap as your preference
Sure can.
or your compatibility. And that just came to mind when I was sitting up there.
The Lord.
So if we're going to say the Lord want to come in and tell you something like, hey, your walk is wrong right now. This is what you need to be looking at when you're going out and looking for that root out the Bible and all these other things. So I wrote that. I just had to pull up because when I heard y'all talking about that, I'm like, man, I wrote something one time when I was just sitting up on my couch on a Saturday morning. And this is one of the things that came to me. So when it talking about preference or whatever, I look past that and say, I need to refocus and look at things and look at the, like I said, getting to know somebody and understanding them is two different things. You have to understand a person where they're coming from. My wife would tell you that all the time. Understand, you knowing somebody, getting to know them, like, okay, she look good and stuff like that. And then another thing off that, when she get older, you still gonna look at her the same way? You still gonna sexualize her the same way and look at her in her beauty? Or you just gonna be like, damn, she old now, let me move on. And now your eyes wandering and looking at other women with
no,
you know
I think
what
you
I'm
time
saying?
to get
I think that would
over.
never happen
So-
if that was the case.
But just back with the preference thing, that's the only thing, because just, I was like, wow, so we talking about that, and then I wrote that, and that's been 2 years ago when I wrote that.
What's the revelation?
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm so glad you said that because, again, the enemy sends counterfeits.
You sure
And
do.
the counterfeit could be almost to the T, but it
Mm.
be one thing missing.
Girl.
But how can you
Girl.
tell if it's the counterfeit or the real thing unless you prayed up?
You can tell by how they take a shower. If they take a shower with some scalding water, they're the devil.
Women
That's
think-
what they do.
God have mercy.
And then the other thing what Keisha was talking about, I didn't grow up in a traditional home. My mother, I was in a single parent home. So to be a latchkey kid and come home, so I didn't know what that looked like with a man and woman and somebody being there. And it's interesting that she said when she grew up in a house, this is what that looked like. So then it's like, what do when I was a child, I always wanted to be married or just looked at that. And so we look at the Huxtables, we look at the Jeffersons and all the other stuff, because we really didn't have that many kind of black role models in the culturally wise to say, hey, this is what that looked like. Of course, when the Huxtables came out, we seen that stuff like that. But then, you talking about a only child raised by one mother, and then have my dad. And my dad was totally different. He was on some other stuff. He was on that player thing. Where he lay his hat, he was his home. So
Okay.
so and then not only that, but then the things that he came to me as a man that made me was, when I was in my teens, my dad asked a question like, man, how many girls you laid with? And I looked at him like, what? Who say that? I'm not like you.
That's what was on his mind.
But he thought I was because
You was
You
his
know-
son, so he thought you had took up that trait.
but I didn't take that, and I took offense to it. Like, how dare you ask me that question? Like, really?
Yeah.
I ain't seen you in months, and then the first thing you ask me is how many women or what's the word we use to determine now? How many
Smash.
body count?
Mm-hmm.
What's your body count?
That just sounds suicidal.
Okay, speaking of body
Homicide.
count, do you guys think it's inappropriate to ask anybody, woman or man, about their body count on the first few dates?
Yes. I feel like it's inappropriate.
I do.
They
That's
gotta
not
want.
something
They
I-
gotta really want to know that type of truth coming from me. They can come out day one, day two. That it don't matter. It just depends on can you handle that type of truth.
Yeah, I know.
You can ask
Yeah.
whenever you
Don't
ready,
tell me.
but you gotta be ready.
It's gonna be. I got asked that on the way.
Oh God! Did you answer?
I couldn't. I just said we both single, and you know what I'm saying. We're both dating. You just met me yesterday, so I'm assuming you was
Yesterday.
talking to somebody the day before. Not they just met me yesterday.
But
You know, we've been
it was
conversing
soon,
for about
yeah.
a month or two, but
Okay.
like yeah, it was somebody before me. Like
Why?
I'm not finna tell you that because nothing good gonna come of it. If I tell you this, how many women I've had in my past, okay, yeah, I just tell you I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing. I know how to
supposed to
please.
just say 3.
I'm gonna just once I don't want to hear about it because I know you're gonna lie, and then 2, if you tell me the truth, then I'm gonna look at you differently. Like I'm not gonna like you no more.
That's
Because like,
so
especially if the number high, oh my god.
Hiding yours?
Well, I mean, I had in mind. Like, what we dating? We're not dating you. Like, let's just sleep together.
Okay, so I have a question with that though. So is it a men thing, like y'all just like I'm cool on that, or is it like a women like? Is it like a thing like men really just don't care to know?